As interest in using Open RAN for 5G gains momentum, CSPs across the industry are looking to their peers for guidance and insights as to how best to deploy this architecture. Early adopters, such as Vodafone and Verizon, are already rolling out Open RAN in their networks and demonstrating its potential. Now, I'm delighted to say that we can hear from these two CSPs now, as we are joined by Shankar Venkatraman, who is Technical Fellow RAN Planning at Verizon, and Andy Dunkin, Open RAN RF and Digital Platform Development Manager at Vodafone. Very good to see both of you. Thank you for joining us on the programme. Shankar, now that Verizon has deployed 5G virtual RAN narrowband with x86 hardware from HPE, what's your advice for other operators looking to roll out Open RAN?
Yes, I think we had a lot of learnings in the process of getting to where we are. And some of those learnings, are around the fact that operators have to learn new way of deploying Open RAN and virtualized RAN networks. I think software efficiency becomes a very important metric to start with. It's not something that operators have had to do in the past, but it is critical to make things work, that the software has to be highly efficient and performant. The other piece that needs, I think, special attention is integration. There are many layers of the stack that are disaggregated and have to come together. So that's something every operator has to determine how much of it that they want to work on internally. But it's an area really requiring some special attention to make it all come together for deployment. And then I think training that needs to be scaled across many operational teams. So combined with investments in automation and orchestration, we think that some of the learning challenges can be minimized. And in the longer term, there could be a path to even better operational efficiency with automation and orchestration. So definitely that's an area that requires a lot of effort upfront so that it's available in time for deployment.
Thank you, Shankar. And Andy, based on Vodafone's experience, what advice do you give to operators looking to launch Open RAN across diverse geographical markets?
So very similar, I think. When you start to do the first deployments, you've identified markets and the scenarios. The critical thing is to start the planning very early. A lot of assumptions are made that you can move reasonably easy from large-scale pilots to full commercial deployments. But the key thing is understand what your high-level design looks like, identify your partners that you're going to work with, and then allow plenty of time for the low-level design, because it's potentially the first time that you will bring together the multiple vendors that are going to make up that platform. We're very used to, as an operator, having a single vendor deployment, so very vertical in its nature. And as we move into the Open RAN environment, we end up with a platform that has many more verticals made up with the different vendors in the areas of the digital platform, the radio platform, software platform, CAS platforms. And I think it's easy to underestimate how much time has to be spent in bringing those vendors together and making that transition. So as we prepare now for our first commercial implementations, it's critical, and we're in the labs now with a number of those partners, bringing those partners together, getting them to work on that detail, and then ensuring that we have it all properly documented, and that end-to-end architecture is clearly understood by everybody. It's a reasonably long end-to-end chain, and for it to work effectively, we have to ensure that everybody understands what's happening in each of those specific areas, be it the DU platform, be it some changes in terms of software and associated functionality, because at the end of the day, it's all interconnected and it has to work together. So that's our primary focus now. The period of show and tell, to some extent, as we've referred to it previously, is now over. And our focus over the next 6 to 12 months is really about hardening these platforms so that they're suitable for full commercial deployment and capable of delivering the services that our customers demand from us.
Now, we're seeing evidence that network equipment providers are delaying, either by choice or by chance, the delivery of virtual RAN software, which in turn can cause delays in 5G Open RAN rollout. I'd like to ask both of you how you're addressing this. Shankar, let me address that point to you first.
Yes, I think it took us a while to get to where we are now. That is evident. It took many years of effort, but within Verizon, we had a clear goal to get to this point in time, and we started working with our partners, incumbent vendors who we have worked with for many years, and tried to get them on board and ensure that their roadmaps are able to support the program. So happy to report that we do see the shift happening now. Relative to a few years ago, many tier one OEMs are able to prioritize this path. But also, I think there is the advent of new upcoming companies who specialize in, for example, virtualized RAN. So I think that will spur the ecosystem more, and a little bit of competition helps to ensure that really high quality and highly performing virtualized RAN software is available for deployment.
That's good to hear. And Andy, how are you addressing this at Vodafone?
So we're fortunate because we haven't launched our first commercial network just yet, but we're obviously driving through with a target for the end of this year to have achieved that. Whether it's delays, I think it depends on how you choose to look at it. We're putting some very exacting requirements onto all of our partners, be them the software or the hardware partners, because our objective and targets for Open RAN is to deliver an exceedingly high performance access network, one that matches the performance that we see in our networks today. Those networks have evolved over the last 20, 25 years. So we're asking a lot from some of these vendors. And the key challenge for them now, as I say, is really focused around this operational integration. So some of the delays are not driven by needing to improve the functionality or capability, although we're always pushing our vendors to deliver the very best in terms of functionality and performance. But it's always some of those smaller tweaks that you have to make in order to integrate the new platform in with a lot of your legacy tools and capabilities. And it's ensuring that we have that in place. That means that we can drive this then at scale. And that's the critical difference. As I say, when we move from large-scale pilots to the commercial implementation, we have to have the operational platforms in place. Otherwise, it makes it much harder to manage the network efficiently. And as I say, ensure that we deliver to our customers the level of service that they expect. So we're putting a lot of focus on that at the moment and ensuring that, the devil's in the detail, I think, with a lot of this. And that last 5% of detail perhaps takes 30 or 40% of the effort. So that's why, I think that we're not seeing the implementations yet, but everything is very much, the lights are green. We're making good progress, but it's all about ensuring we deliver, that first class service and the very best that the Open RAN platforms can deliver for us. So at the moment, we're comfortable with it. It's not on the critical path for us. And the time spent now getting the platforms right will be well rewarded later.
Thank you, Andy. And Shankar, same question to you. How can vendors such as HPE help here?
Yes, I think over the years, we've had really solid collaboration with HP, where we have found innovative ways of meeting our deployment challenges. And I think right now we continue to focus on collaborating with HP to bring out innovation to achieve our goals of energy efficiency, goals of density, and also of being able to upgrade assets in the field with minimum downtime. These are all areas where I think we have done a lot of work, but I think it's an opportunity to do a lot more work so that this ecosystem stays competitive.
Well, thank you, Shankar and Andy. Thank you both very much for joining us on the program and sharing your views and experiences. And don't forget to take a look at all our interviews from TelecomTV's Strategic Outlook on Open RAN and 5G, supported by our partners HPE and Intel. You can watch them all on demand from the TelecomTV website. For now though, thank you very much for watching and goodbye.